Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Magnolia State Weather Live as we have severe weather moving through Mississippi this afternoon and into tonight. And so we'll go through a quick rundown real quick. I want to make sure the audio is working good, just real quick. Okay, looks like the audio is working fine. Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to send those in. Always open to answering questions here at Magnolia State Weather, but I hope your afternoon is going well. Currently, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings across the state right now and 3 special weather statements. We're seeing some storms form rotation over in Louisiana, but also gusty winds and damaging hail possible in northern Mississippi here over the next few hours. But anyways, let's start diving down into this now. The first one's going to be down here towards Natchez. This is for nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. So nickel-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. This includes Harrisonburg, Louisiana, and this storm is moving basically off to the east. This includes Ferry Day, and this is off just to the north of Natchez, Mississippi. This will be moving off into Jefferson County here very soon. The warning states that this is for Tensas Parish, Concordian Parish, Catahoula Parish, Jefferson County, and Adams County in Mississippi. And so that lasts for the next 57 minutes. That expires at 3:15 p.m. And so that's what we're looking at down there in Louisiana and in southern Mississippi. This storm will move off to the east and will eventually cross into Mississippi here in the next hour or so. So not quite worried about that one just yet. But one thing to note on this storm is it has been producing rotation for a while. Very broad area of rotation here, but also lots and lots of lightning with this cell. So as this nears Natchez, we might be able to get a camera on it soon. But look at that rotation. I was talking about how the southern threat, I believe, is there for tornadoes. We've been seeing this mesocyclone rotate for about the last 30 to 45 minutes. So really, this cell in Louisiana that's going to move off into southern Mississippi is definitely going to be one to watch if it keeps rotating like that. That's where I've been seeing the conditions best for a tornado threat is in southern Mississippi, but the Storm Prediction Center has that primarily for northern Mississippi. But moving on to the north now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is off to the west of Memphis. This includes, it looks like Marshall County and Benton County of Mississippi. Also portions of Hernando and Tate counties. This includes DeSoto, Benton, Fayette in Tennessee, Hardeman County in Tennessee, McNairy County, Shelby County, and Chester County in Tennessee as well. And this is for penny-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds, and that expires in about 40 minutes. So looking at the radar, plenty of lightning up in here, but overall, nothing looking impressive in terms of well-defined storms up here near Memphis. Still plenty of lightning with that, and we'll try to get a camera on that here very soon. Let's see if I can get a camera on that. Let's see, this is just off to the south of Memphis. Here's a camera we can look at. Let's try something a little better. Oh, we'll go with this. So here's a camera near Holly Springs. We'll take a look at it real quick. Lots of rain on the camera, but overall not seeing much lightning from this MDOT traffic cam over near Holly Springs. And so we'll leave that there. We'll look at these storms up near northern Mississippi, but overall, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in place for Mississippi right now. One of those up near Memphis, like I said. The other one posing the tornado threat over near Natchez right now, but that is still over in Louisiana. So I am from Jones County. That is true. Not based in Jones County right now, but definitely I am from Jones County. That's always fun to talk about. Love Jones County, but right now we are live from Jasper County right now. So anyways, for people new on the stream, right now in front of me is my radar. Right here is a TV with the traffic cam and my recording software. And then actually right here is where I have the phone looking at the live stream. So I definitely got a mobile setup today. Not the entire computer setup like I have up in Starkville, but down for spring break right now, you have to make do with what you have. So anyways, thank y'all for tuning into Magnolia State Weather fairly quickly. But we have a long one to go this afternoon and into tonight. If you have any questions, remember, send them in the chat, and I will answer them as quick as I can see them. and basically as soon as I can get answers. Anyways, let's look back at the radar here for now. And so this storm that I've been talking about has been rotating, and we're going to keep looking at this because just look at that. I mean, you have the bright red, not a lot of outflow with this storm, not a lot of winds backing into the cell. But overall, I mean, broad rotation here in Louisiana, and I wouldn't be shocked if this becomes a tornado warning just off to the west of Natchez here soon. So if you have anybody that is here near the Mississippi Louisiana state line, near Tensas Parish, Concordian Parish, Catahoula Parish, and then Jefferson County and Adams County, anywhere near this region in between Harrisonburg and Natchez, tell them that there is an area rotating between Harrisburg and Natchez. I've been talking about the tornado threat in southern Mississippi and central Mississippi this morning, and I feel like it's gone under the radar, but we're seeing cells that are firing up, rotating. So that's definitely something we're going to have to watch as we go throughout the afternoon and evening here across Mississippi. Anyways, zooming back out, going to take a wider look at this system just real quick. Oops, sorry, not what I meant to do. Overall, looking at how big this system is today, not a very large system. You have these storms towards Louisiana moving into southern Mississippi and central Mississippi. I think these are going to pose your best tornado risk, or is going to be these cells down in Louisiana, but then a massive system of rain over northern Mississippi. And these are the storms that's supposed to bring with them large hail and damaging winds. But really, it looks like those storms might be struggling to do that right now, maybe due to overconvection. So that might be a good thing for these storms up in northern Mississippi, but we're really going to have to wait and see what goes on with those storms up there. Anyways, we'll zoom back in now, and we'll look at our special weather statements we have across the area. We have 3 special weather statements here in Mississippi. Really, one of those was replaced by this severe thunderstorm warning in yellow, so we can kind of ignore that one. But we'll look back down here at the special weather statement. One of those to the north of Clarksdale. This includes Jonestown, and this is for, sorry, I'm not the best with my Delta counties as of right now, but this is for Tunica, Coahoma, and Quitman counties. This includes the communities of Sledge and Falcon. Plenty of lightning on this storm as well, and this is simply for 40-mile-an-hour winds and marble size hail, so half-inch size hail there, so plenty of lightning there if you're near Sunflower and Tunica counties. Sorry, not Sunflower, just Tunica County. Getting my Delta counties better up there. But then we have one more special weather statement that's just off to the south of that includes Alligator and Duncan, but that cell has moved off to the north into Clarksdale at this point. Plenty of lightning was on that, but that's going to be allowed to expire here in 20 minutes. So lots of stuff we're going to have to do. We're going to have to go back and forth between the storms up north and the storms down south. Like I said, the storms down south are really the ones that bother me with a tornado threat, but cannot ignore the storms up there that are producing hail and damaging winds. Those are going to be a problem as well. So anyways, let's continue on here. Let's go back and let's bring back that traffic cam we were looking at over near Holly Springs. We'll just look at this here for a second, just to give us something to look at in terms of what conditions we're seeing over there in Holly Springs. Right now, just some light rain is what it looks like near Holly Springs. Not seeing a lot of lightning, so conditions look fine there in Holly Springs. I'll try to bring us up another camera now. Let's see what I can find. Let's go with areas that are in that severe thunderstorm warning. So over near Olive Branch, I believe. Let's look. The Holly Springs was in that severe thunderstorm warning. Honestly, this camera near Holly Springs should basically be in the middle of this thunderstorm we were looking at. So, actually going to go back to this camera then. Looks like that camera might have went out for a second. Let's see if it's back. Yeah, we'll go back to this camera at Holly Springs. So this is in the middle of that severe thunderstorm warning off to the north. That includes Holly Springs, Ashland, and areas to the east of Memphis. It also includes Somerville and Bolivar, Tennessee. But overall, I mean, we're getting a good look at that storm. Overall, nothing I'm seeing in terms of conditions that are really going downhill there outside of Memphis. Anyways, looking back south near the Natchez storm, this is the one I'm going to continue to look at for a while now because this one, I mean, look at that. You have blues. We're seeing blues on the radar here, which indicates some very strong inflow with this storm. So it looks like the issue with this storm is we're not getting a lot of red behind it. So not a ton of outflow with this storm, but a lot of inflow. And so really, I don't think we're too far away from getting a tornado possibly on the ground south of Harrisonburg. But if you know anyone between Harrisonburg and Faraday, Louisiana, this is between Louisiana Highway 8 and US Highway 84. If you know anybody there, tell them to be safe because these storms look fairly serious now down in southern, that's not southern Louisiana, up in central Louisiana, about to move into southwestern Mississippi. Getting dark in Warren County, I believe it. Looking into where Vicksburg is, you have a big storm to the north of you, north of Vicksburg, producing some lightning and some heavy rain, but really the center of that's going to be over Eagle Bend and Eagle Lake. But overall, not seeing any hail there with that system near Vicksburg. To the south of Vicksburg, between Port Gibson and Vicksburg on Highway 61, another cell, not producing lightning just yet, but overall, looks like that storm might be strengthening. Actually, it looks like it's weakening as it's moving off to the east northeast, towards Utica. Let's see if we can get a view on this storm near Natchez. I'd love to see if we can get an angle on that. Like I said, if you could bear with me whenever we're going through these transitions between cameras, don't have the big setup here with 3 different monitors. I simply have main monitor in front of me, other monitor right here, which is actually a TV, and then my phone. So playing around with a little less toys today, but still going to try to give you the best weather coverage I can. Overall, not being able to see anything there from Natchez. So no camera angles on those storms near Natchez as of right now. Definitely want to see if we can get any cameras near Natchez over there, especially with this rotating cell. It'd be really nice to see if we can see anything there. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case as of right now. So let's go farther up towards North Mississippi, see if we can get any views of some of these storms up there. Let's go to Oxford. Let's see what the conditions look like in Oxford right now, because Oxford looks like it has plenty of lightning and plenty of heavy rain going through it right now. So here's a live cam from Oxford. Definitely heavy rain falling there. We might be able to see a few cracks of lightning and thunder there, but overall not seeing much of anything. And I unfortunately left my water upstairs, so I'll have to get water at some point. So here's Oxford on the radar. Plenty of lightning just off to the north of Oxford towards Abbeville and towards Sardis Lake. But overall, that's moving off to the northeast. So really, these storms over Oxford will move out here in the next little bit. But then you have another rain band behind that over to the west of Charleston. And so if you're in New Albany or in Ripley, these heavy thunderstorms will be moving off towards your area here in the next 30 minutes to an hour. Trying to see if we have any storm reports right now. We do not have any storm reports right now. Just kind of going back and forth between our severe thunderstorm warnings we have here in Mississippi. But man, just look at that. I mean, I wouldn't even be shocked if we get a quick tornado on this cell back here near Harrisonburg, Louisiana right now. I'm almost certain we could get a tornado warning at any minute, and that would be going towards Fayette, Mississippi, over there. I believe that is Jefferson County. Yeah, that would be Jefferson County. So if you're in the Fayette area, be aware there might be a tornado warned storm heading your way soon. Overall, not tornado warned just yet, but I mean, definitely some tight rotation there on that cell just to the southwest of Harrisonburg into the north, or southeast of Harrisonburg into the northeast of Jonesville, Louisiana. Just got some lightning on the iCam looking from Oxford. So definitely some lightning involved in those storms up there in Fayette County. If you want to help me out right now, what you could do is you can, liking the stream works good, but if you want to, you can share the stream. It'd be the best way for us to get eyes on Magnolia State weather. It'll be the easiest way for us to grow here, especially on social media where getting eyes on stuff's the hardest thing to do. But if you like our content, please, I ask that you share it. It's going to be the easiest way for us to get eyes on our weather live streams. We passed 15,000 followers on our severe coverage on, what is today, Tuesday? Today, Tuesday or Monday? Today's Monday. So on our severe weather coverage on Saturday is where we've passed 15,000 followers. So luckily, we're getting it going. I want to look at this from the reflectivity. Overall, I mean, definitely got that classic kidney bean shape on this cell. That's just off from Harrisonburg, Louisiana. You can definitely see well-defined kidney bean shape there with this cell. So definitely a storm that looks like it's rotating. And that's something we're going to have to continue to watch. And I want to stay on top of this one because I think this one's the one that poses the most imminent danger out of all the severe thunderstorm warnings across the state of Mississippi. Of course, that's not to decrease the threat of the severe thunderstorm up in Benton and Marshall counties, but overall, it looks like the main area of those storms have moved on into Tennessee now. And so, just remember, severe thunderstorm warning for Benton and Marshall counties, and that is for penny-sized hail, but 60-mile-an-hour winds is the severe aspect to that severe thunderstorm warning up in northern Mississippi. But once again, we're going to pay our attention down here towards the Natchez area. We'll actually go to our side-by-side radar here so that we can look at not only the radar, but we can also look at the rotation all at the same time with this cell here in Louisiana. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the lightning bolts on the radar just real quick, because I think that's kind of contaminating this just a little bit in terms of what it looks like. And so this will give us the chance to just basically look at the radar and the rotation. And really, the rotation on the storm looks to it looks like it's gotten a little tighter here in the last few minutes. Definitely seeing a well-defined area of rotation there, less broad now, so that rotation is tightening now in the mesocyclone. So really looks like maybe there's been a funnel on this storm. I have no ways of getting knowledge on if people are reporting a funnel cloud with this one, but overall, tightening rotation on this cell in Louisiana, and you can definitely see that with the radar as well. A well-defined hook with this cell. Not a textbook supercell by any means, but definitely a hook on this cell. And I'll draw it out once again. You can see well-defined hook there in Louisiana on that cell. So we'll switch one of these over to be the debris radar, aka the correlation coefficient. And luckily, we're not seeing anything that's telling me that there's debris being lofted by the storm. And so that's good. At that point, we would have a tornado warning, and we actually would know we had a tornado on the ground. So definitely going to be something interesting to watch because, I mean, this storm's been rotating for roughly an hour, but no reports of a tornado as of right now. Anyways, we'll bring back the lightning detection so that we can see where we're seeing the lightning across the state. But overall, plenty of lightning with that storm as it heads up over towards Fayette and heads over towards Jefferson County, Mississippi. Some newer storms that are forming now north of Vicksburg, just to the north of Redwood and north of Eagle Bend, moving off to the northeast towards Yazoo City. Probably will take roughly an hour to get to Yazoo City if it holds in, but probably small amounts of hail and lightning moving off to the northeast towards Yazoo City and Yazoo County. Going to basically follow up Mississippi Highway 3 towards Satardia in the next hour. Looking more up towards the Highway 82 corridor, to the east of Winona and to the west of Eupora, moving up to the north towards Derma. Another cell that's producing lightning and maybe a little bit of hail that's moving up towards Mississippi Highway 404 and Mississippi Highway 9 towards Bellefontaine. That'll go over Bellefontaine probably in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. But really, if it's going to continue on, it will go towards Houston probably within the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. But overall, that's if these storms are able to make it there. Kind of a weird situation where storms might not be able to last for a very long time in the conditions we are seeing today. Looks like we might have got a new severe thunderstorm warning. Oh, they upgraded it to a tornado possible tag now. So tornado possible on this cell that we've been watching over there in Louisiana. So the National Weather Service now looking at this storm for tornado possible. And so you may ask, why is there no tornado warning if a tornado is possible? Well, it just simply means that the National Weather Service which National Weather Service is Jackson? It is. That the National Weather Service in Jackson now believes that there could be a tornado with this cell at any point, basically. But the confidence is not there for them to issue a tornado warning. So basically, it's them trying to not play Boy Who Cried Wolf in terms of issuing a tornado warning, because people take tornado warnings very seriously. So tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning. If I click on it, you can see it says tornado possible. And if you look up any severe thunderstorm warning you're in and it shows a tornado possible tag, it means that maybe there's some rotation in there that the National Weather Service is looking at in regards to a tornado being possible there. But the severe thunderstorm warning is now there for that tornado possible tag, like I said, and 60-mile-an-hour winds. We are also seeing nickel-sized hail with that cell over just to the northwest of Natchez now. I mean, look at that. Look at that rotation there. I need to look at this. That's 60-mile-an-hour in, 15, 20-mile-an-hour out. That's like roughly an 80-mile-an-hour rotation on this storm. So, I mean, I almost guarantee you can see a well-rotating mesocyclone there. If anyone has pictures of this cell, I would ask that you send it in or tell me that you sent it into either my DMs or the Magnolia State weather community, because definitely a well-defined area of rotation. This is over the community. Let's see. This is just off, about to cross the Tensas River. We'll be crossing Louisiana Highway 566 very soon, and we'll be going over Dunbarton and Ballina here in the next few minutes in Louisiana before then crossing US 425, where it will then cross in the Mississippi, probably around Gibson Landing and Anna. So Gibson Landing, Louisiana, and Anna, Mississippi is probably around where this cell would cross over. Overall, at least looking at the debris radar, not seeing anything at all, but definitely lots of lightning with this cell as it's over there in Louisiana. So this will be crossing into Mississippi soon. Don't be shocked if we see a tornado warning with this cell here in the next few minutes. Going back up to the north, areas in Memphis now under a flood advisory. So Memphis now under a flood advisory. This is for, let's see, already half an inch to 1 inch of rain has fallen, and they're expecting more rain to fall there in Memphis. So flood advisory for the Memphis metro area, and that is all in Tennessee. None of that is in Mississippi right now. But remember, we still have that severe thunderstorm warning that now includes Highway 72 near Michigan City and Lamar, as well as Hopewell, that basically has mostly moved out of Mississippi, but overall still the severe thunderstorm warning there for 60-mile-an-hour winds, and that expires in 19 minutes. So overall, still a slow day out there across Mississippi. I know I'm going to keep harping on that storm that's over near Natchez, as that poses the highest risk. But for the most part, still a slow day in terms of severe weather across Mississippi. Not a lot to talk about right now, but definitely worth watching this cell over there near Natchez. See, how quick is this storm moving? These storms are moving at 25 miles an hour due east. So we can actually plan that out now. 25 miles east, or 25 miles per hour east. So let's go ahead and let's draw out the cone now for this storm. Okay. All right, so this will be over Clayton, Louisiana by 3:01, St. John by 3:14, and if it continues into Mississippi, this will reach Fayette by about 3:58. So that is roughly 15 minutes till it gets to Fayette, Mississippi, and that'll be crossing over the US 61 corridor within the next 30 minutes. Sorry, not 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Let me change a few settings on this just real quick. There we go. Didn't get the chance to change some settings on here. We look off to the south. We got more rotation down here south of this storm now. Let's see what that's about. Just a small little cell rotating really quickly. Looks like the velocity on that cell now is weakened. But wow, that spun up really quick down there. That rotation gone now, but I'm not seeing anything on the correlation coefficient. That's what we'd like to see. But these small little cells really trying to get going very quickly down in Louisiana. And these are going to start moving into Mississippi soon. And I really think we will see a tornado risk across portions of southern and central Mississippi. Overall, right now in northern Mississippi, where the Storm Prediction Center was expecting those severe winds and large hail, currently no severe thunderstorm warnings across northern Mississippi right now. Simply only one severe thunderstorm warning, and that's the one over here near Natchez. So that's why we're going to keep looking at it. That's why we're going to keep watching this storm, is because this cell appears to be the one to watch for now. Looks like the velocity is now falling apart on this cell. Looks like this cell might be struggling a little bit, which is good. We would rather not see a tornado on the ground. And look at it from the other area. Once again, going to remove the lightning detection for now, just so we can look at these storms a little bit cleaner. But overall, it looks like the rotation on that cell has weakened for now. So that's good. That's what we want to see. See what this has looked like over the last few minutes. Definitely see was a well-defined area of rotation now gone. Could be seeing a mesocyclone handoff here. Seeing now rotation kind of strengthening over south towards Faraday. So honestly, I mean, we're seeing a nudger happening now, a whole different cell taking over. So give this cell probably about 15 to 30 minutes to recycle. It's kind of getting some interference from this cell that was off to the south, because if you look at it here, this cell is now moving off into the big supercell. So a little bit of interference going on with these cells. But overall, after these cells are allowed to reorganize, I think we'll start seeing rotation with this storm once again. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to keep looking at this one here for just 2 seconds while I'm able to look and see if we have any reports on anything. See if I can, if you have any comments, please make sure to ask them. It'll give me kind of something to talk about while we're playing the waiting game right now. But thank you for watching Magnolia State Weather already this time today. Lots of people showing up considering that we don't even have storms into southern Mississippi just yet. But overall, thank you all for the support so far. Definitely going to be a nice afternoon and night going through this weather with all of you guys and keeping you all informed. Definitely a nice one to cover. Anything projected for the Brandon Flowood area? So for Jackson, I still believe that there's a risk there. Primarily, I honestly think the risk towards Jackson's either going to be that hail risk that the storm prediction's been talking about, but also, I mean, I wouldn't count you out of the potential for a tornado. That risk is not high. Don't think that I'm saying that risk is high, but I really think, I mean, maybe towards the Brandon Flowood area that tornadoes are possible. Maybe one tornado, a quick spin up at that. I think those chances are best towards the I-20 corridor. For right now, you're fine. I'd say another hour and a half, 2 hours before storms might fire up there near Jackson. But really, for southern Mississippi, it's kind of weird. Not everyone's going to see storms today. It's kind of a weird system where you're going to get a few storms that could produce some rotation. So while one area might be looking at a tornado warning, the next might not be looking at any rain today at all. So it really is a hit or miss storm system today. So for the Jackson area, I'd say give it a few more hours. That's when your main threat's going to be moving through. But overall, if you get nothing today, don't be shocked. Sorry, answering some message feedback here. Where is everybody watching from? I'm very curious as to what county our viewing audience is from right now. So if you want to put what county you're watching from in the chat right now, that'd actually be great. I'm actually very curious to see where the primary influx of our people are from. And I know it's primarily southern and central Mississippi, but overall, just curious when it comes to that. One thing I want to focus in on this system, on this cell right here. We've been talking about how these cells are kind of merging now. That kind of killed that initial rotation that is beginning to move into Jefferson County, Mississippi. But you're starting to see more rotation form with this storm. Very broad, so maybe this storm's starting to reorganize. But then again, it might be a minute considering how much disturbance is to the south of this primary cell. I'll circle the primary cell in blue. This is the primary cell that we're seeing, but all these cells to the south are going to interact with the cell up north and basically going to hinder it from rotating for a minute or so, or for a few minutes to the next hour. But one thing to also watch whenever you have cells like this is these are called mergers. And so sometimes cells that are merging like this into a parent supercell could actually help form rotation. However, at some points it also kills rotation. So sometimes you have to watch it. For right now, I think it might kill rotation, but overall, I mean, we're seeing plenty of rotation now just to the north of Faraday. So definitely some very interesting stuff to watch meteorologically with these storms. And just remember, this is a double panel that we're looking at right now. So these are both showing the same radar image right now. As you can see, there's Faraday on here twice on the radar. these are looking at the same cell right now. Just one is reflectivity, one is velocity. And so that basically gives me a good picture of what's going on in the atmosphere with these storms. But overall, definitely some broad rotation now. About to go through Clayton and Faraday. So if anyone here has any pictures or knows anybody in this area, let them know. Send in any pictures you have because that would really help us know what's going on with this storm. I'm going to switch one of these over to correlation coefficient. Luckily, not seeing any rotation here, which is good. Or not rotation, not seeing any debris being lofted. Sorry. But overall, definitely a little bit of rotation here, very broad. And I say rotation, we're getting a lot of inflow winds here. So a lot of winds into the storm, but you're not seeing a response from the back end of the storm, which is what you would need to produce a mesocyclone or produce some strong rotation. Overall, this area of rotation is probably eventually here in the next few minutes going to go into the parent cell. And so that area of rotation might die out for a second until we're able to get what's called a mesocyclone handoff. And that will be when this cell will basically have the chance of producing a tight area of rotation once again if this primary area of rotation doesn't do anything. I know lots of big boy words being used today, but whenever you're dealing with a classic kind of supercell situation with a tornado threat, it's kind of what you have to go to. Anyways, looking back towards North Mississippi, special weather statement expires in 20 minutes. This includes Marks, Batesville, Sardis, and Senatobia, as well as the communities of Sledge and Falcon. This is for a storm basically over Highway 3 right now and Highway 310 moving off to the east. This is going to have plenty of lightning in it and heavy rain. But overall, the special weather statement says that this is for 50-mile an hour winds and pea-size hail. That's what we're looking at up there in northern Mississippi for now. Unfortunately, it looks like this cell is moving right through that radar hole from the Jackson radar. If you didn't know, right here, this band right here, where it kind of looks like there's nothing on the radar, this is because of the Brandon water tower that was installed after the radar was implemented. Kind of a controversial story with that one. Brandon Mayer said, hey, we had to build a water tower here. Didn't really care that there's a weather radar there. And unfortunately, it causes situations like this where the radar beam cannot be seen all the way in Natchez. And one of the excuses with that was, oh, they can look at a different radar site. That's not really how it works with a tornadic environment, or at least, I mean, it does slightly work, but the quality sucks. So that's the situation here as to why there's kind of a cut in the radar here. That is because of the Brandon water tower. A very controversial one there, but I'm not going to get too much farther into that one because I think you can figure out my opinions on that. So overall, still a severe thunderstorm warning for a tornado possible and 60-mile-an-hour winds. This also has nickel-sized hail with it. This storm will be moving over the Mississippi River here soon and is currently over Young Landing and Mayhew Landing in Louisiana, over Highway 566, and this will be moving over Clayton soon, and then over St. John before moving over into Mississippi near, let's say, Anna, Mississippi. And there's not a whole lot of communities out here, but also towards the communities of Rodney, Mississippi, but this will be moving into Jefferson County. Probably the easiest way to say it's just Jefferson County for right now. Kind of hard to know where exactly this cell will be moving in. Let's see if I can find one of those sorry. See if I can find one of these cameras now over near Natchez. Hard to get a good view from the Natchez cameras. Looks like all of these are looking at the bridge, so looks like we might not be able to get a sky cam there on these storms moving near Natchez. But definitely want to take a look at that cell just south of Natchez now. That appears to be the newest cell that really wants to kind of get its act together in terms of a hail core and maybe some lightning. Let's turn back on the lightning detection for now. Overall, no rotation being seen on radar, but overall, definitely some lightning over there over Louisiana Highway 15. And this is going to move off to the east towards St. Catherine Creek National Wildlife Refuge, just to the west of US 61 in Mississippi, to the north of Wilkinson County, or this is near the Wilkinson County. Um, Wilkinson County. Oh boy, I'm terrible with my counties right now. Adams County, yeah, the Wilkinson County, Adams County border. I'll get better with that one. Adams County always trips me up, and I don't know why. Here, let me go grab my water just real quick. I need to grab this water, or else my voice isn't going to be able to make it. Give 2 seconds. There, I realized I had a water right here. So, not a lot to talk about. This one storm down over to the north of Natchez now is really the one that's causing issues for now in terms of rotating. So that's why we continue to put effort into this one. Overall, looks like this storm might get the chance to fire back up here in the next little bit. But overall, the main area of rotation has kind of fallen apart. We're going to have to see if this thing can recycle itself here in the next little bit. All right, give me a second. I need to respond to an email just really quickly. Once again, if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, please give me just a second to respond to an email. Do that real quick. Having to do some business related stuff real quick. We'll get right back. How long does Philahatchee, Mississippi have before it hits? Um, Really, it's one of those situations where you might not get any storms today, or you might end up in a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning. Very hard to know when exactly storms will be near Philahatchee because it's one of those sporadic days where we have um, thunderstorms that are going to be scattered, and so some areas might not get anything, some might. But for Philahatchee, I'd say roughly in about the next hour and a half to 2 hours is probably when stuff will start ramping up there. But then you should be good after about 8 to 9 p.m. Sorry, still trying to take care of this that I need to do real quick. Good morning, Northeast. Okay. Do this. Share. Copy. Just go ahead. Sorry, not trying to ignore the weather coverage right now. Just trying to deal with this real quick. Hope y'all are all having a good afternoon. Be right back to the severe weather coverage here in just a second, having to answer back a fairly important email. Come on. Don't crash now. Once again, if you're just now tuning in, give me 1 second trying to get this information I can over to somebody via email real quick. Um, Once again, almost done responding to this email. Just have to do this real quick. Overall, looks like this cell that's near Nash's, the rotation is basically gone at this point, but I think this cell's trying to get its act together. I said give it about 30 minutes, and this cell might be able to rotate once again. But really, it's going to depend on how this cell goes through the merging process. My stream just go down? We're still here. Did the live stream go out for a second? Can y'all hear me? Whoops. Let's see what's going on. Are we back? Are we back? Looks like we're back. Looks like the live stream went out for a second. Sorry about that. Don't know why the stream cut out. We might be back. Not very sure. If y'all can hear me, let me know. Please comment something if you can hear me. Looking like on my end, I might have lost signal. So if you can hear me, let me know. That would help.